Could one single performance on stage change the dynamic of a friendship that has been built for years? Could that emotional gaze under the bright lights of Jin's concert hide a message only understood by those who once stood together on the same world stage? And most shocking of all, why was Jungkook, who never fails to show up to support his members, suddenly nowhere to be found on such an important night? These questions have been burning in the hearts of armies around the world ever since that unforgettable night at Munhak Stadium in Cheon. Jin, freshly returned with renewed calm and energy, greeted tens of thousands of fans at his solo concert. A night expected to be filled with happiness, yet it turned into one of the most controversial moments in BTS's post-hiatus history. Then, the spotlight suddenly shifted, and from behind the stage, an unexpected figure appeared. Kim Taehyung, known worldwide by his stage name, V. Dressed in a simple black suit that radiated elegance, his iconic bluish-purple hair gleaming under the lights. Taehyung walked slowly to the center of the stage, bringing with him a silence so intense that even the air seemed to pause. Time itself seemed to hold its breath. Jin turned to him, and the audience erupted in a deafening scream. Taehyung, the vocal king, opened that moment with "Love Me Again." It wasn't a new song, nor one he was promoting, but every note, every vibration of his voice felt like an open letter from the past, filled with unspoken emotion. Fan cams that spread across X, formerly Twitter, captured the moment he closed his eyes during the bridge, as though holding back tears. And when he opened them again, something had changed. His gaze carried a weight, a quiet sorrow, as if filled with memories left unresolved. Yet behind the beauty of that performance, one thing stood out and left fans speechless. Where was Jungkook? Usually, Jungkook never misses an opportunity to support his members. Sometimes he shows up in person, sometimes through video messages, or simply appears quietly in the crowd. But that night, there was no sign of him. Not in the VIP section, not backstage, not even a single post hinting at his presence. Armies began to feel uneasy. Was it just a coincidence? Or was there something deeper behind the Golden Magne's absence? Rumors began to spread quickly. Some fans speculated that Jungkook was overseas for his Calvin Klein project, while others suspected his absence wasn't due to scheduling, but rather a personal choice. One unofficial source even claimed Jungkook had received an invitation to the concert, but decided not to attend for personal reasons. A simple phrase, but one that carried 1,000 unspoken meanings. Meanwhile, Taehyung's appearance on Jin's stage felt more than just a surprise. It felt symbolic. Many fans believe that performing "Love Me Again" was not a random choice. Its lyrics, filled with longing and loss, when sung with such emotion at Jin's concert, led some to wonder, was the song directed toward someone? When Jin approached and hugged Taehyung after the song ended, the cameras caught their warm smiles. But even that embrace couldn't erase the emptiness lingering in the air. There was something unspoken between them, something unresolved. As the concert continued with overflowing energy, media attention stayed fixated on one thing: Jungkook's absence. Many described it as the loudest silence. In a world where every move of an idol is watched by millions, not showing up can sometimes say the most. Some armies try to calm themselves, assuming Jungkook was busy with a recording or photo shoot. But others noticed something strange. At the same time, major fan sites reported that Jungkook had been spotted in Seoul just a day before Jin's concert, specifically in the Hanam-dong area. A CCTV clip from a nearby cafe even showed a figure resembling him sitting alone, staring at his phone for a long while, his face tired and unreadable. Could it be that Jungkook knew about Taehyung's appearance at Jin's concert and chose not to come for reasons known only to him? On the other side, the relationship among Jin, Taehyung, and Jungkook has been a topic of curiosity lately. After serving their military duties at different times and pursuing vastly different solo projects, many fans feel that the BTS dynamic has grown more mysterious than ever. Jin with his melancholic Echo project, Taehyung with his unpredictable artistic retro flair, and Jungkook with his global dominance through international campaigns, all seem to be walking their own separate paths, and yet, That night, it was as if the universe reminded everyone that something still connects them: memories, friendship, and perhaps the unfinished emotions. Leaked backstage footage showed Taehyung talking with Jin after the performance. The atmosphere appeared friendly, but at one moment, Taehyung's expression turned serious when a staff member mentioned Jungkook's name. Jin merely nodded, then gently patted Taehyung's shoulder, a simple gesture that carried weight far beyond words. Armies instantly began dissecting that moment. Some believed Jin knew why Jungkook wasn't there, but chose to protect his privacy. Others speculated that Taehyung might have felt disappointed, hoping Jungkook would come. A few days later, Taehyung posted a black and white photo on Instagram with a caption, "For once, I sang not for myself." Only 7 words, yet powerful enough to shake the entire fandom. Thousands of comments flooded in, some filled with admiration, others filled with questions. Who is he singing for? And amid all this chaos, Jungkook remained silent. No posts, no comments, no reactions. His silence only deepened the mystery. Several Korean media outlets tried to link Jungkook's absence to scheduling conflicts between his promotional duties and his personal relationships with the other members. However, HYB quickly issued a statement saying Jungkook fully supports Jin and Taehyung even if he couldn't be there in person. But to fans who have followed BTS for years, that statement felt too neat, too polished, too diplomatic. Was there something hidden beneath those words? One particular clip from Jin's rehearsal has now gone viral. In it, Jin can be heard saying, "Someone couldn't come because of something bigger than a reason." The phrase, faint but audible, has now become the subject of endless fan theories. Many are convinced the someone Jin referred to as Jungkook. If that's true, then what could be bigger than a reason? What could possibly be so significant that Jungkook chose not to attend such a meaningful night? Speculations range from artistic differences to tight overseas schedules, to even whispers of emotional tension between the members. But amid all the noise, one thing remains clear. This moment reopened an old wound that may never have fully healed. Taehyung, known for his emotional depth, appeared quieter than usual during post-concert interviews. When asked how it felt to perform at Jin's concert, he simply smiled faintly and said, "I just wanted to say something through that song." Honest but vague. It sounded like the kind of answer that hides more than it reveals. Meanwhile, Jin, ever composed, spoke positively, saying the night was about music and friendship. Yet even in his calm demeanor, fans sensed he knew more than he let on. And Jungkook? He remains the biggest mystery of all. Did he keeping his distance for personal reasons? Or is he preparing for something bigger, with that night being only one part of a story yet to unfold? No one knows for sure. But what's undeniable is that Jin's concert was not just about music. It was a night when emotion, connection, and mystery among the BTS members once again became the center of the world's attention. The days following Jin's concert only deepened the unease among fans. Clips of Taehyung's performance continued to flood social media feeds, drawing millions of views and countless emotional reactions. His voice, filled with tenderness and restraint, seemed to resonate with something unspoken, something beyond artistry. Fans described the moment as hauntingly beautiful, but many admitted that the beauty came with a sense of heaviness, as if the performance carried a message meant for someone who wasn't there to hear it. And that someone, in the eyes of nearly everyone watching, could only be Jungkook. The more fans rewatched the fan cams, the clearer the connection appeared. At one point in Love Me Again, Taehyung looked up to the sky, his voice slightly trembling as he sang the line, "I want to be loved again." The audience erupted, unaware of the subtle sadness in his tone. But those who know him, those who followed his journey closely, could sense the difference. It wasn't just performance. It was emotion spilling through art, controlled yet raw. The next morning, international media outlets began running headlines. Taehyung's emotional appearance steals the night at Jin's concert. But where is Jungkook? The pattern was clear. The concert that was meant to celebrate Jin's musical milestone had now become the center of speculation surrounding BTS's internal relationships. Some described the atmosphere between the members as quietly tense, while others believed it was simply a case of timing and overinterpretation by the fandom. Yet, when the silence from Jungkook continued, the theories grew louder. HYB remained unusually restrained in their statements, offering nothing beyond the standard reassurance that everything between the members is fine. But armies, known for their sharp eyes and emotional intuition, sensed something else. They pointed out that Jungkook had been active just days before the concert, posting a series of casual photos with his dog, Bam, and even interacting with fans during a live broadcast. Yet, the moment the concert arrived, silence. No updates, no congratulations, not even a mention of Jin's name. What could make Jungkook withdraw like that? Was it fatigue, overwork, or was it something more personal, something that couldn't be expressed publicly? Then came the interview clips from Jin himself. When asked about Taehyung's surprise performance, Jin smiled gently and said, "I didn't plan it. He came to sing because he wanted to." The statement, though simple, ignited another wave of discussion. If it wasn't planned, then how did Taehyung coordinate the band and the lighting so seamlessly? Who knew about his appearance in advance? And most importantly, did Jungkook know? Some fans believe he did, and that he chose to stay away for reasons too complicated to be shared. Others are convinced it was pure coincidence, that fate simply didn't align that night. But in the world of BTS, where every action is deliberate and every performance carries meaning, coincidences are hard to believe. Adding more fuel to the fire, a behind-the-scenes clip from the concert surfaced online a few days later. It showed Jin and Taehyung talking quietly backstage, the noise of staff and equipment buzzing around them. At one moment, Taehyung's expression softened, his lips forming words barely audible. "He should have been here." Jin's response wasn't heard, the audio cut out, but his hand reached forward to rest gently on Taehyung's shoulder. The clip ended there, but the damage was done. It spread across social media like wildfire. "He should have been here." That one line became the headline everywhere. Fans debated whether Taehyung was referring to Jungkook, but deep down, everyone already knew. The emotional weight behind his words matched the lingering sadness in his performance. In contrast, Jungkook was seen days later at Incheon Airport, wearing a cap pulled low and headphones covering his ears. Reporters shouted his name, asking about Jin's concert, about Taehyung, about whether he had seen the performance. He didn't respond. Not a single word. He simply walked, his face calm but unreadable, as if the entire storm online had no effect on him. But those who have followed Jungkook for years recognize that kind of silence. It wasn't ignorance, it was avoidance. The video of his airport appearance became another topic of obsession. Some said his posture seemed tired, others insisted he looked fine. Every small gesture, the way he adjusted his sleeve, the way he glanced briefly toward the cameras, was dissected and discussed. For a fandom that has grown alongside them for over a decade, even the smallest silence can feel like a message. The situation took another turn when, unexpectedly, Jin went live on Weverse 3 nights later. His tone was calm, but his words were carefully chosen. "That night was special," he said. "Taehyung gave his heart through that song, and I'm proud of him. I also know everyone misses seeing us together. But please, don't read too much into things that aren't meant to hurt anyone." It sounded like a plea, almost a gentle warning. But to fans, it confirmed what they already felt, that there was, indeed, something delicate happening beneath the surface. Jin's leadership, his way of protecting the group from unnecessary drama, had always been evident. Yet, the more he tried to downplay the situation, the more fans felt that the truth was something deeper, something Jin didn't want the world to see. Later that night, Taehyung posted again a short video clip showing the empty stage after Jin's concert, lights dimmed, his voice barely audible in the background saying, "It was worth it."
No caption, no explanation.
Just silence and shadows. The timing was impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Jungkook remained quiet for another week before finally posting a short message on his personal platform. "Congratulations, Hyung. Sorry I couldn't be there." 10 words that broke the internet. Fans flooded the comments section with relief. confusion, and heartbreak. Why sorry? Why now, after so many days of silence? Some took it as a sign of reconciliation. Others read it as a quiet confession that something truly had gone wrong. What's even more intriguing is that Taehyung didn't respond. Not publicly. Instead, he liked a fan post quoting the line, "Sometimes silence is an answer too." And once again, chaos followed. For the next few days, the fandom turned into a battlefield of emotions. Some defended Jungkook, saying he deserved privacy and understanding. Others sided with Taehyung, interpreting his emotional performance as an expression of disappointment or longing. And in the middle of it all stood Jin, calm and composed, seemingly trying to keep peace while the world debated the meaning of every look, lyric, and line. But those who have followed BTS long enough know that behind every rumor, there's a deeper truth, one that may never fully be revealed. The bond between the members has always been complex, layered with years of shared triumphs, struggles, and quiet sacrifices. Perhaps that night at Munhak Stadium wasn't about conflict or misunderstanding at all. Perhaps it was about growth, the painful kind that comes when people who once shared everything begin to walk their separate paths. Yet still, the image of Taehyung standing alone on that stage, under the lights that once shone on all 7 members together, remains haunting. His voice trembled, not just with art, but with memory. His song wasn't just "Love Me Again." It was a whisper to the past, a plea for connection, for understanding, maybe even forgiveness. And Jungkook's absence, whether intentional or inevitable, became the most powerful presence of all. Because sometimes, the person who doesn't show up says the most without uttering a single word. Now, weeks after the concert,